work as a psychiatric nurse. And I'll tell you, we couldn't use our next speaker more than we can right now. Dr. Keith Ablow is a New York Times best-selling author, Fox News psychiatry contributor, contributing editor for Good Housekeeping, and repeat Oprah guest. He has also appeared frequently on The Today Show, Good Morning America, Larry King Live, The O'Reilly Factor, Tyra, Montel, and a host of other television programs. Dr. Ablow graduated from Brown University and Johns Hopkins School of Medicine. He completed his psychiatry residency at the New England Medical Center in Boston and is an assistant clinical professor of psychiatry at Tufts University School of Medicine. He has earned the title America's Psychiatrist by helping countless people take control of their lives by defeating emotional and behavioral problems that limit them. He has authored many books, most notably The Seven Wonders That Will Change Your Life, co-written by Glenn Beck. The Seven is a New York Times bestseller, as is his New York Times true crime bestseller, Inside the Mind of Scott Peterson. He's also the author of 6 novels, which have sold millions of copies. Dr. Ablow has also had considered throwing his hat into the ring for U.S. Senate special election in Massachusetts. We appreciate him willing to do that. Whatever the format, Dr. Ablow's message is always the same. By harnessing your innate capacity for courage, faith, truth, and compassion, you will find the power to reach most any goal. Please welcome Dr. Keith Ablow.
Thank you. So glad to be here with independent people. So I'll start, I do this somewhat popular segment for Fox News called Normal or Nuts, so I gotta find out whether you people have been following along. $16 or more trillion in debt for a nation upon which the world has always relied for autonomy and freedom. Is that normal or is that nuts? Increasing taxes on the very people who create jobs and bring ingenuity to others. Is that normal or is that nuts? You bet it is. I spend my life helping people achieve autonomy, freeing them from dependency. And I do that with the wonderful tools of psychiatry, and we do that with the wonderful tools of freedom and politics that empowers people, because we all know what happens when people feel dependent. They get depressed. They can't help themselves. They don't have energy anymore, and they don't have the ability to be creative. Instead, this government is inducing dependency. Anybody in debt knows that. You can't have a clear mind. You can't think for yourself and clearly and with independence if you're going to work, burdened by the notion that your household is indebted. That's how we're all living now. And why is that? Because we have ensconced in Washington an administration that loves dependency and for some reason has a knee-jerk reaction against autonomy. That's why they want your guns. That's why, because having firearms means you have the ability to defend yourself. That's why in the wake of tragedies like Sandy Hook and the horror in Aurora, Colorado with James Holmes shooting up that movie theater, you didn't hear President Barack Obama talk about restoring our decrepit, inexcusable mental health care system where so many people fall through the cracks and which should be fixed. Why? Because psychiatry and psychology, the basis of that is restoring people to autonomy and independence. And the president isn't in that business. He's in the business of legalizing drugs, and maybe marijuana should be legal. But why should you be high, the right to be high, and not the right to be armed? What kind of America is that? To me, the idea that we would excuse the fact that this president will not address the real issue that's fueling violence in our schools and instead pretend that firearms to be blamed is not normal. To me, is that normal? I'll ask you, is that normal or is that nuts? I think it's nuts too, and that's why Dan Winslow and I are going to release next week a strategy to really address how to rebuild the mental health care system in this state and across the nation. For some reason, the president has dependency as his modus operandi. Maybe that's because, and I don't want to play psychiatrist to the corner off. All right, maybe I will. I don't have 50 minutes, but I have 10 for the president. Maybe when someone abandons you again and again, and for this president, that was his father first, and then his mother. And as he told us during his apology tour, then his grandmother, rather inexplicably, told him that she was frightened, or indicated she was frightened of men of color. Well, I understand why that would lead you to think that people can't be trusted, but those were his people. We can be trusted. We can chart our own lives. And the fact is that once people let you down, if you've then decided that all individuals with initiative can't be trusted, you then end up running the government like a nanny state. And what do you tell people? Stay on unemployment for 99 weeks. Is that normal or is that nuts? You tell them stay on your parents' health care insurance until you're 25. Is that normal or is that nuts? You tell them you can't even pick your insurance, and more than that, you can't keep the money you made every week from your job because we got plans for it. You'll have to spend it the way we tell you to. Is that normal or is that nuts? Get them addicted to Facebook. Get them addicted to Twitter. Communicate with them through the internet and on late night TV. Appear on the cover of GQ magazine. As if that does respect to the office of the presidency. Is that normal? No. Is that nuts? Yeah. And another thing, we had a snowstorm in this state, the most recent one. Someone said, which one? I don't know, I'm not a meteorologist, I'm a psychiatrist. And I heard that the governor in this state said if you drive on the roads, we're going to jail you maybe for a year. Last time I checked, we paid for those roads, didn't we? Martial laws, right. Give them free phones so they don't have to earn the money to buy their own. Stay on unemployment, stay on your parents' health insurance, and you know what? It's no favor to them. Because I've learned after 18 years practicing psychiatry, the real gift to people is their liberty. The real gift to people is their autonomy. And when people are restored to the folks that they were meant to be from all time, they do very well for themselves. You don't need to coddle them, hold their hands. You can get out of the way and follow them just like they should follow you today. The truth I will tell you in closing, such that we shouldn't be pessimistic. The truth I've learned always wins. When I have somebody come to my office addicted to alcohol, and he says, listen, I don't know. I'm not sure it's time for me to really put this down. I'm not sure it's a problem. I say, look, You can pay me now, you can pay me later, but the truth always wins. Dependency on anything, a drug or the government, does not last. It can't last because deep in our souls, we know that only independence works. Not far from here, my mentor, Ted Nadelson, once told me, you know, the thing with slaves is you can't keep them. They always revolt. And that's what's going to happen here. Enslaved by the notion of ever-increasing taxes, told that we can't spend our money, even the money we do take home, the way we want to. Told that adulthood starts at 25, if ever. Told that nobody really should be able to hold a firearm and know that he can, or she, can defend his family or her family if push comes to shove. That can't stand, because slaves always revolt. Buried here at the Central Burial Ground is Samuel Sprague. That's very interesting, because he enlisted as a soldier in the Revolution, 1775. And he participated in the siege of Boston, the battles of Trenton and Princeton, and before his death, my friends, he was a participant in the Boston Tea Party. No one can shackle the American spirit. Because inside each of us, and the reason we love America is because we love the capacity of people to outperform. We rely on it. It's not about me, it's not about any one of you. It's about the power in each of us to manifest what's deep inside us, thereby helping many people. So don't let anybody tell you that we won't win, because the truth, my friends, always wins. Thanks for having me.
Dr. Keith Ablow. Wow, we still have a lot of people here. That's pretty good. We can't get this many people to stay at a movie for 2 hours. It is more important than a movie. Thank you.